The Asus ROG Strix G16 has been touted as the laptop that can quite literally do it all, whether it's a heavy workload activity like gaming, streaming, and editing, or even simple multitasking as a day-to-day workstation. The ROG Strix G16 is supposed to be your go-to partner. Now, I chose this laptop as my first gaming laptop to use it for every single reason I just mentioned, and after a solid month of integrating it into my workflow, I'm ready to give you my impressions of it so far and help you decide if you also want to pay that hefty price tag that it comes with. Hello everyone, my name is Cryptic, and I, like you, are a consumer and enjoyer of all kinds of tech, especially that of a gaming variety. Now, I recently found myself in the market for a new laptop because of three main reasons. The first is that my standard PC of 4 years, in fact the very same one that I made a video about at the very start of this channel, had finally started to show signs of struggling to keep up with my growing stream and editing demands. I also live in Florida, and the hurricane season last year was so devastating that this year I just really need to be a lot more prepared to be mobile, especially since a lot of my work happens from home. And lastly, I desperately needed a second monitor at my workspace, but unfortunately my workspace is so small that I already had limited options for incorporating one anyway. Now I'm telling you all these things because it's my responsibility as essentially a marketer of this product and potential influencer of your purchase to make sure that you understand that purchase decisions of this size should be made with intent. I personally can take anywhere from weeks to months to come to a final verdict on a big ticket item like this. And I'm not saying that you have to take that long too, but buying a PC of any nature will always be a case-by-case scenario. So please make sure that when you do make that purchase, that you're fulfilling at least some, if not most, of your needs. There were several ways I could have solved my problems without spending over $1,000 on a laptop, especially in this economy, but at the end of the day, the clear answer was that I needed something that was equally as powerful as it was portable, and most importantly, it needed to be affordable. Enter the ROG Strix G16. Let's talk some specs. The ROG Strix G16 has a 2023, 2024, and a brand new 2025 model that, like many other gaming laptops, all come in a variety of spec configurations depending on how much power or how much performance you need, as well as the market availability. I have a 2024 model, so for the sake of this video, we'll specifically be referencing that one. Just know that all the 2025 models have AMD chips and 5000 series NVIDIA GPUs. Also, as of recording, the only main difference between the 2023 and the 2024 models is that the 2023 models have a 13th gen Intel i9 processor and all the 2024s have a 14th gen. So other than the chassis, everything about the laptop, even the display quality between every generation, will be listing dependent. So make sure when you're going to make your purchase that you check the spec details very closely. I personally chose the 2024 model with the 14th gen i9 because I knew I'd be asking this machine to do way more than just game. However, know that if you're looking to just game on it, the 13th gen i9 will work just as fine, and it is definitely worth going for if you want to save yourself some money and some battery life. And speaking of gaming, my model also has a 2.5K 240Hz monitor for a beautiful and crisp graphic quality, as well as 32 gigabytes of RAM, DDR5 of course installed, so that way I have smooth loading, especially when I'm running multiple programs. Looking at the ports from left to right, you're going to have your LAN port, your HDMI port, your two USB Type-C ports, one of them being a Thunderbolt 4, an audio jack. Then on the other side, you're going to have two USB Gen 2 Type A ports. Let's talk about some of the standout features you'll find on the ROG Strix, starting with the most obvious eye catcher, the chassis design. The chassis is extremely durable and it's designed to withstand a lot of abuse, ranging from daily wear and tear to sudden drops and falls. And as you've probably already noticed, the chassis is also heavily designed for temperature control. The ROG Strix has 3 fans that expel heat via the multitude of vents surrounding the base and a heatsink that spans the entire length of the chassis. And the most surprising thing is that these fans make significantly less noise than you would even expect, and I would even go as far to say that they're about in line with the noise level that I get from my Xbox Series X during longer gaming sessions. Now, I also took it a step further and I installed a hybrid laptop / monitor mount on my desk that provides me with even more airflow for my laptop and space-saving maneuverability. And if you're interested in where I got this mount, I'll have have it linked in the description below the like button. In typical gamer product tradition, we have a customizable RGB backlit keyboard as well as edge lighting that can serve as either an aesthetic accent or a visual indicator for your laptop's temperature or charging status. Now, of course, with all this power and lighting, the next logical concern would be the battery life, and thanks to the Asus Armory Crate app, you can set specific performance parameters such as disabling the lighting effects or disabling the RTX GPU entirely when handling simpler tasks in order to maintain that battery life out a little longer. But ultimately, this thing is mostly staying on its charger whenever I'm using it, and maybe from time to time whenever I'm traveling or I'm just doing things that I can't get to a wall outlet soon enough, that I will have it running off of battery power. The ROG Strix G16 truly leaves little to be desired, but I do have a few cons that I wanted to mention. The first is that all that durability and engineering does come at a cost, and that price is size and weight. The ROG Strix is a beefy boy with an even beefier power brick attached to its AC cord, so traveling with it is definitely a clunky experience. Also, as cool as it looks, the design is a bit gaudy, and you don't have an option to keep the keyboard backlit without the edge lighting being on as well, so I've settled on just a lower profile static color. And also, the laptop pulses with like a bright red charging effect whenever it's sleeping on AC power. Now, this is something that you may be able to turn off, and I just haven't found the setting for it yet, but it can get pretty obnoxious at night. And lastly, the mouse pad is highly sensitive and can trigger a double click pretty often. Honestly, it's more of an annoyance than an issue, especially since I use a wireless mouse whenever I'm doing something that's really click intensive, but it really shouldn't be a problem for you either, unless you're some kind of maniac that's planning to use the trackpad for gaming. But those are my thoughts on the ROG Strix G16 gaming laptop. This thing is truly a beast that has handled every task that I've thrown at it with ease, and minus its clunky and gaudy nature, it's proven to be the gift that keeps on giving by providing me with power, productivity, and portability. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, I'd like to invite you to like it and subscribe to the channel for more, because I have a lot of tech reviews backlogged that I really need to catch up on, so you can expect more videos like this in the future. And if you like to see any of my other content, access to all of my socials and my gaming channel can be found in the description below. And lastly, tell me how you feel about the ROG Strix G16. What spec configuration are you looking for? Is this laptop too gaudy for you, or are you an RGB warrior? Let's have a conversation in the comments below. But that's all from me. As always, I thank you for your viewership, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.